Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Police. Obama's got some books out. Stephen Colbert. Remember when Stephen Colbert was like, oh, and then he did the Colbert Report where he was mocking Fox News. It was great. Now, this is as hard as his question gets. He interviews Obama, right? And this Obama says the problem with the drone program was not that it caused an inordinate amount of civilian casualties, although even one civilian casualty is tragic, but that the drones probably had less collateral damage. Let's watch this whole interview. I'm sorry. I just can't. It's mind-numbing to me. We're just going to watch this whole interview here real quick. It's about this is not the whole interview, but just this segment.
Program and the thing that your Senator Barack Obama did not understand as well as President Barack Obama, because that is something you got a lot of criticism over.
And the drone program, which I deal with more in the second volume, because what I actually discovered was that the concerns were both legitimate, but not always understood. The problem with the drone program was not that it caused an inordinate amount of civilian casualties, although even one civilian casualty is tragic. But it actually, the drones probably had less collateral damage, which is the antiseptic way of saying it killed people who were innocent and not just targets. Probably had fewer, less collateral damage than if you send in troops, for example, and you're in a firefight. Or you're dropping ordnance using conventional pilots. Mm-hmm. The problem is that it starts giving you the illusion that it is not war.
The distance makes sterile.
Yes, and what I discovered, and I write about this in the second volume, the machinery of it started becoming too easy, and I had to actually.
Then why didn't you stop?
Impose internally a substantial set of reforms in the process to step back and remind everyone involved, this isn't target practice. There are, each time we make this decision, we are engaged in the most profound act that any government can take, which is, using lethal force against people, and that there have to be better checks and balances in doing it.
Okay, so better checks and balances. Okay, so that's the problem with Obama right there. People are apologize. Are going to say, see, he's owning it. He gives nice words, and boy, we should have better checks and balances. Really? So that's the boy. I look back. That's where we should have had better checks and balances. Checks and balances? You said you were going to get us out of war, and then you dropped more bombs than Bush. This is from Glenn Greenwald back in February 2013. Chilling legal memo from Obama DOJ justifies assassination of U.S. citizens. This is what he did against his own citizens. I mean, this is like, not to mention, he dropped more bombs. U.S. drops an average of 72 bombs each day throughout the globe. This is January 9th of 17. So this is before Trump had been sworn in. Let's go into this article a little bit. Because I'm sorry, the problem isn't that there's collateral damage. I mean, that's bad. The problem is that there wasn't better checks and balances. No, the problem is that it's awful. It murders people, and you did more of it than Bush. And then you let Trump do more of it than you did. That's the problem. Like you lied about your campaign promises. I voted for you because you said you were going to get us out of Iraq and Afghanistan, two ridiculous wars that we shouldn't have been in, especially Iraq. We shouldn't have been in that war because Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction. You sold us on that. And then you just drone striked. And then it's just unbelievable. Boy, it's like my kids keep going around murdering everybody in the neighborhood. And my wife and I need to have better checks and balances. What? Stop murdering people. I don't know. Is that a hard concept? And that's the thing. And then they always say, well, and then there's another article where Obama said, I didn't want to seem weak on terrorism because I would have been criticized by the Republicans. Shut up. I'm so sick of that. You had control of the House and the Senate. You could have said, that's it. I won overwhelmingly, which he did, especially in 2008 and in 2012, but he won overwhelmingly. He said, I won overwhelmingly. The American people want us out of these wars. I don't care what the Republicans and the Tea Party think. You're in the minority. America doesn't want this. We got to get out of these wars. We're done. I'm tired of spending money and having Americans die and flag draped coffins. We're done with all of it. That's what a leader does. You think FDR was worried when he won in landslide 3 times in a row? FDR was like, oh, I hope the Republicans don't get mad. Trump surely didn't give a shit if he pissed off the Democrats. Bush didn't give a shit if he pissed off the Democrats. When people were like in an interview, they're like, well, why are you trying to Trump like a month ago? Why are you trying to push this Supreme Court nominee before the election? Well, because I won. He said it in an interview. I won. That's what the winners get to do. We get to do this. We get to make the legislation because the American people voted for us. That's what Trump said. That's what Obama should have done. But he's like, oh, we got to play nice. And oh boy, we got to do checks and balances. Iraq and Syria, where the U.S. is helping drive Islamic militants from both countries. This is back in 2016. $24,287 bombs were said to be dropped compared to 22,000 in 2015. Obama says his toughest decision as president was to send 30,000 additional troops to Afghanistan in 2009. He gets into office. He was widely elected on get us out of these wars. Everyone's like 8 years of George W. Bush. We're out of this. We're done. Yeah, we realized, okay, 9/11 happened. We had to have a response. Okay, fine. But now Bush just keeps this going. We're done with him and Cheney. We're done with this stuff. Ups the troop count. What else happened in 2009? After he upped the troop count, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to United States President Barack Obama for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. The Norwegian Nobel Committee announced the award on October 9th, 2009, citing Obama's promotion of nuclear nonproliferation and new climate in international relations fostered by Obama, especially reaching out to the Muslim world. He reached out to the Muslim world by bombing it, by setting it on fire. You ever talk to anybody or just read any independent journalists from the Middle East? They see no difference between Bush, Obama, Cheney, Biden, Rumsfeld, Colin Powell, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, Trump, Pompeo. They don't see any difference because this is the war machine. And that's that interview with Stephen Colbert is just to, oh, guess what, neoliberals? War's not that. It's tough. He had to make some tough decisions. A tough decision would be tell the military industrial complex, we're done. And then this is going to put the liberals to sleep because of Biden. He won't be crazy. And when Trump tried to pull troops out, he got attacked from the right by liberals and by Democrats. He just said he's bringing the troop count down, not pulling them out completely because it's a stunt. Trump isn't really pulling. He's just lowering the troop counts in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? He made that announcement like a week or so ago. He got criticized by Democrats and Mitch McConnell. Because one thing is for certain, the military, this is donations. Red is Trump, blue is Biden. The Department of Defense gave more money to Biden. The Army more money to Trump. See how it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. Look how much money they give. Look how much money they give. So I want to ask our friend Ron Placone, who's here. Ron, how do you watch this interview and then like it's funny, the dilemma, stopping bombing, not setting the Middle East on fire, that's never part of the dilemma. It's, do we send troops in or do we drone strike? See how they always move the conversation away from full peace, from full no more war, from, economic solutions, helping the Middle East economically so they don't need to be dependent upon the economics of fundamental Islam. And part of it is economics. There's people are poor. I remember when I was in Afghanistan, they're like the Taliban or Al-Qaeda, whatever, would come to some poor farmer and say, look, man, we'll give you $100 if you just put this cell phone by the side of the road. And he's like, okay, $100 is more than he makes in a month. So he took, that's how it was done. Like, so what do you say to this, Ron, when you see this ridiculous, like, whitewashing of the Obama years again?
Well, first of all, a thing that Obama does that he's always done is he'll speak slowly to make it seem like he's saying something very insightful, like he's thinking very deep. In reality, he's just talking and torturing some folks. He's always done that. It's so fucking annoying. He'll just be like, he didn't say anything in that thing. He just talked slow to make it seem like he was saying something deep. All he really said was just like, yeah, I mean, really what he was saying, the fact that, I had to rein it in because it's not target practice. Do you have any idea how psychotic that really is? Like, where he's basically openly admitting to a guy who's supposed to be the last bastion of free speech. The court jester is the only person allowed to tell the truth as long as they're fucking funny. Stephen Colbert has forgotten both those rules, apparently. He's like, I'm not going to tell the truth, and I'm not even going to try to be funny. I'm just going to kiss this guy's ass, which was all he did in that interview. And, like, he's basically admitting, yeah, we were just droning the shit out of people because it wasn't really in our backyard and we weren't sending troops over. So we figured, why not? He never even mentioned why they were doing it. Just, of course, we have to do it. And then he talks all slow and he wrote about it in the second volume. Don't forget to buy his book. I mean, in that 90 some, well, it was over 90, but like a slightly more than 90-second segment, like 5 different times he reminded us that's in volume 2 of my memoir, of this most recent one. I've written a couple. I've written a few. Like what else do you have to say? How do you write more than one memoir about yourself? Do you think your life is that interesting? Newsflash, Hillary Clinton. Newsflash, Barack Obama. It's not. Your life is not that fucking interesting.
And it's so funny you bring up the slow pause thing, because it sounds like he really weighed these tough decisions. But nowhere in there was like, this is horrific. We shouldn't do this. And he's like, come on, guys, it desensitizes us to war. Yeah, the whole country's desensitized. This dumb interviewer is desensitized. Your vote any blue will do following is desensitized. I mean, you talk to the average, like, Democrat, liberal, vote any blue will do, and you say, Obama dropped more bombs than Bush, and they go, yeah, he wasn't perfect. Wasn't perfect. Or, well, at least one like liberal comedian said, well, at least he was better than Bush. And I was like, well, not if you lived in Yemen, Libya, or Syria. I mean, he wasn't better. It was hellfire he brought. You would have wished it was just Bush bombing 2 countries rather than Obama bombing 7. Like, just the nonchalance of that, like, and then giving this offensive lip service, like, it's literally, and again, let's put it in this context. Let's put it in the Me Too context. What if he was the head coach or the athletic director at like a college where the college football players were just rampantly abusing, raping women, beating people, just out of control. And he had that response. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like, we had to have more checks and balances. People would be like, checks and balances? You let these guys do whatever the fuck they want and they fucking ruining people's lives. These young women's lives are ruined. And you're saying checks and balances?
Well, you know how I feel sometimes just in society in general, and especially like in moments like this, There's this episode of South Park where they're criticizing the Catholic Church, and there's this one priest who's the good guy, and he's like not okay with this corruption. And so he goes to the Vatican and he meets the Pope, and there's this almighty spider, and he just goes, guys, we have to do better. And they're like, well, yeah, I mean, and he goes, we shouldn't be doing like we should not be raping children. And then everyone's just like, whoa, hey, come on now, come on. And he's like, are you kidding me? I feel like sometimes in the world when you're just like, we shouldn't be droning anybody for no reason. It's just like, whoa, purity test, whoa, dial it back. What do you mean not droning anybody? Come on. Not even one wedding? No, we shouldn't be doing it. There's no reason for us to do this. We're behaving like an empire. We will see the same fate, and it's morally disgusting. Whoa, come on, purist.
What about freedoms? And it's just like, it's such a, like somebody in the chat just wrote, when I made the analogy to him being like an athletic director with a bunch of, a whole football team just assaulting, he goes, well, we assaulted some folks, and look, hey, one young girl getting assaulted, that's bad. But what's even worse is the alumni just not getting that angry. Like, what? What are you talking about? It's like 90% of his casualties were unintended targets. 90% of them were civilians. And he's like, boy, need some checks and balances. Like, it's offensive. It is offensive, the cavalier attitude that he and all American presidents and the media and most Americans have. Most Americans are just like, well, what are you going to do? Like this, you're ruining lives. And if you're just
he wrote about that in volume 2.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
volume
make sure
2 he covers.
Oh, okay. Volume 2. Boy,
you got to buy it.
He's such a solid guy. He's such a good guy. He did a second volume for you to buy because he can't. So he's going to make you buy 2 books where he that's where the contrition volume is volume 2.
The contrition volume.
Okay. And he wrote that where it is $1 Million Home in Martha's Vineyard, or where was this written? Okay, great. It's like, it's so, and it's the problem with America, with the American empire, is the American people are numb to this fact. Like,
yeah,
the American people don't want to face the war stuff. The American people don't. That's just why the George Floyd thing was so powerful, and it came at such a unique moment, because obviously, unfortunately, we've seen plenty of police murdering unarmed black men in America, but it came during the pandemic. Everyone's home. Everyone had to watch it. Everyone was like, no. And it's like, there's a reason why drone strike footage of weddings or 85,000 dead children in Yemen, there's a reason why those videos don't go viral. There's a reason, because they're not on the mainstream news. CNN doesn't pick them up, because if we really showed what we did, and they look, the war machine learned this in Vietnam. In Vietnam,
right,
the Vietnam War was on the news. You came home and you were watching this 8 o'clock news. Everyone was sitting there eating dinner, watching this horrible shit happen. Napalm, kids dying, villagers, like people who didn't deserve this at all, not to mention American GIs get like, what? Everyone was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But we don't see that here. Collateral Damage video comes out. Oh, and what do? We put Julian Assange and Chelsea Manning in jail. Like, what? And Obama did that shit. He put Edward Snowden, it all, Collateral Damage, all that. Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, that was all under Obama's watch. So it's like, I'm just so tired of this, like, oh, I can't wait to bring back this civility. Oh, where a guy can go, take the long pause and make you not visualize all the fucking hellfire that I ordered. Like, if we didn't see kids in cages when he was putting them there.
Right.
We saw them under Trump, which I'm glad they were finally reporting it so that people would see how awful it is. But then dummy liberals just don't want to hear that it happened under Obama.
Yeah, like, I mean, he deported more people too. I mean, I think that if we had a media that did its job, you would just see what we're doing around the world all the time, like they did in Vietnam. and there would just be like a chyron at the bottom that just said, "Is this who we are?"
Right?
And that'd be it.
Is this what we think of ourselves?
Yeah.
It's really. And so I'm gonna just end this segment on this, because people don't want to wake. They keep, and Americans, you know, historically they can go back about 5 months in their brain, but like we've just been bombing and just I've played this video before, and just want people to know we're going to keep bombing people, and we're probably going to go to war with Iran. Trump might even get us into war with Iran before Biden. But if Trump doesn't, I guarantee you Biden will get us at war with Iran. But just let's not forget this.
Smedley Butler, a U.S. Marine Corps General Major who was the most decorated Marine at the time of his death, stated it well when he wrote,
I spent 33 years and 4 months in active military service, and during that period, I spent most of my time as a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street and the bankers. In short, I was a racketeer, a gangster for capitalism. I helped make Mexico safe for American oil interests. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for the National City Bank boys to collect revenues in. I helped in raping of half a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. I helped purify Nicaragua for the international banking house of Brown Brothers. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for the American sugar interests. I helped make Honduras right for the American fruit companies. In China, I helped see to it that Standard Oil went on its way unmolested. Looking back on it, I might have given Al Capone a few hints. The best that he could do was operate his racket in 3 districts. I operated on 3 continents. War is a racket. It always has been. A few profit and the many pay. But there is a way to stop it. You can end it by disarmament conferences. It can be smashed effectively only by taking the profit out of war.
Like, share, subscribe, everybody. Support what we're doing here. Shave your knuckles for justice, because the corporate media is not going to talk about this, because they get Raytheon and Boeing and those people buy ad time on the big networks. Smedley Butler talked about this. Was 1933. He talked about this. It's 2020, and we've learned nothing. We're actually going in a worse direction. We spend more money on war than we've ever spent. We spend more money than the next 10 countries combined. Used to be 7, then it was 8, now it's 10. And don't listen to Obama talking about, oh, we need some checks and balances. No, war needs to end. We need to stop the bombing, stop the drones, stop all that. We need to stop it right now. So don't fall for this crap that Biden is, oh, yay, Trump's gone. Great, Trump's gone. Now what? More war? Because that's what Biden's going to do. That's what his cabinet full of neocon, war hawk, corporate Democrats, full-on Republicans, that's what's going to happen. Nothing will fundamentally change. That's what Joe Biden said. That's telling, hey, military-industrial complex, don't worry. We'll keep the bombing going. None of this no war talk. We'll just keep the bombing going. Thanks for watching the show. Shave your knuckles for justice. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.